The college football experience, TCU Horned Frogs 2025 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com with the promo code TCESGPN. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Football experience, TCU 2025 season preview episode. Wow. I mean, great to talk about a team that's just been what a run really over the past 25 years of college football with the TCU Horned Frogs. And last season, I think most people probably forget that was a 9-win team. Great response. A couple of years ago, they played for the national championship. Had some tough losses the following year as they lost a bunch of production. Great response to that with a 9-win season. We are going to talk all about it because Sonny Dykes, I think he thinks he's got his program rolling again. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Love me some Horned Frogs football. Just so, man, and look at the chat. Come be a part of the chat as we break down 136 teams with a solo podcast for each and every team in the land. And Keanu's making fun of my 15 minutes. Get another beer, hang out. Yeah, come be a part of the chat. Excited to talk about this team because Mac, let me introduce you. I am joined by my co-host. He is the host of the college basketball experience with me as well. Every single night of the season, when the basketball season tips, we will be live doing shows just like we will be for football. So give it up for former staffer at Austin Peay with the Governors, at South Carolina with the Gamecocks, and at West Virginia with the Mountaineers, Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Moneyline Mac. How are you, buddy?
What is up, man? Yeah, let's talk about the TCU Horned Frogs, a program in Texas that has actually been to the national championship recently. Cheers.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
What's great too is what was that like Texas? I don't remember what it was, but like some hearing where like a councilman was talking shit, like ruling and saying, well, you haven't beat TCU 7 of, I forget what that was, but it was phenomenal. If you haven't caught that, do a Google search. If you're a Horned Frogs fan, I'm sure you've seen it though. GBO Farm, shout out to GBO Farms. Should we get a shelf on that wall? I don't do shelves I would like to get a shelf on the wall. It's just my time is crazy there. So one of these days I'm going to shelf it up over here. They're referring to the old shelf, Mac, where it was lopsided apparently, even though that was the room. The room was lopsided. All right. So, but working on it. Maybe I'll make it lopsided for the fucking point of it. All right. I'll hire a guy to come in here. So can you do me one of these lopsided shelves? So yeah, I mean, TCU is a program that I'm fascinated by always. Obviously, great history way back in the day with Davey O'Brien and Slinging Sammy Ball and Bob Lilly and so many greats back in the day. But then they hit a rough patch, and I would say probably like the 70s and 80s and stuff. And then really Dennis Francione was like the guy to kind of get it going. But then Gary Patterson, boom, he hit the ground running, which is unbelievable success. They got robbed out of a college football playoff in 2014 that I'm still bitter about. Still think it was complete bullshit. They had a perfect season in 2010. They should claim a national championship on that because that's the whole history of college football. And then they played for the national championship in 2022. But under Sonny Dykes, 13-2 in year 1, 5-7 year 2, but backs it back up with a 9-4 season a year ago. What do you make of Coach Dykes? Because I'll be honest, and I think, we were friends with Mike Leach, and I know Sonny Dykes is a Mike Leach guy, son of Spike Dykes, legendary Texas Tech coach there. But, I didn't like the way the Patterson thing ended. And then Sonny Dykes coming over from SMU, I thought, I don't want to say I thought it was a terrible hire, but at the time when they hired him, I thought that he's not Gary Patterson, but made me look like a fool in year 1 going to the national championship and beating Michigan in the playoff there. But and then he regressed to 5-7, but then to jump back to 9-4 tells me it's not a flash in the pan. This is a guy that's got to go. Where are you at with Coach Dykes? Let's play these slides. YouTube.com/the college experience. But where are you at with Coach Dykes?
Yeah, I mean, you take out the 5-7 year, extend it back to his SMU days. I mean, last 3 years there, 8-4, 7-3, 10-3. He's on a hell of a run here down there at TCU and SMU. So I think he's a good coach. I think he's solid. He's an interesting guy. He played college baseball at Texas Tech, which is it's just different because now he's a college football head coach. But overall, really good job so far. 27-13. 18-9. I know it does help that he that 13-2 is in that resume. So yeah, he's done a great job getting TCU back from a disappointing year after the magical first year.
Yeah, no, that was kind of my thing. Was like, man, I remember having Scotty Wachenheim, former FCS coach of the year, on the show, and he had told me. I mean, he wasn't taking a shot at Sonny Dykes. He was just saying that it'll be interesting to see if he could sustain it because he was like the best. And he had worked with a lot of great coaches. He was on part of Bill McCartney's staff at Colorado back, when they were winning national championships, and was with the Redskins for a little bit in the NFL and a bunch of other Fisher to Barry, legendary Air Force head coach. He was a part of a bunch of staff. Scotty Wachenheim was. And I asked him about, who's the coach that really caught your eye the most? And he was like, when I was at Utah State with Gary Patterson, I never seen a coach so prepared and such a great judge of talent. Right. And then he said, he goes, in my opinion, TCU did him wrong by getting rid of him. But he goes, I wonder if Dykes just struck gold because he had Patterson's talent there.
Yeah.
It's something to think about, but I would say he kind of answered the call after the 5-7 season. I thought, man, maybe he's onto something, but jumping back to a 9-win season, I think, we can solidly say that Sonny Dykes is doing a really good job right now. But, yeah, I think, I think we both just listened to Big 12 Media Days, and they're waiting for these teams to step up. I think Yormark would even hinted at this, saying who's going to come of this next group of teams. We lost Texas and Oklahoma, and who will be the team to beat? Year 1, it was Arizona State to win the Big 12 championship, even though it was a 4-way tie. But TCU is kind of the team to me that has been established within the Big 12 over the past, since whatever year they entered. I forget what year. As kind of one of their top brands. I know it's certainly different with some of the Pac-12 teams coming in with Utah and obviously Colorado's got a rich history within the Big 8/Big 12, but I kind of think this is one of the programs that you should. I mean, I know Texas Tech's spending a bunch of money right now, so maybe you put them at the top, but TCU being there in Fort Worth, and playing in the national championship recently, having undefeated seasons recently, do you put them at the top of the list maybe?
I would definitely say that because, they're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's a great area. It's great place to live. It's a nice university, and they've had a nice run of success here. You laid out some of the teams that under Patterson. I mean, they got screwed in that 2015 or 2014.
14.
Yeah. They should have been in the playoff over Ohio State, and maybe they win the national championship that year. And then 2010, they went undefeated with Andy Dalton. So I think they're right there. They don't have the money that Texas Tech does, but they have plenty of money at TCU, and them and Baylor have been really consistent in this league, in my opinion, for over a decade plus now.
Yeah. Well, Coach Dykes, the last season, the offense with Kendal Briles, son of Art Briles, 25th in scoring offense, 8th in the country in pass offense, 112th in rush offense, 31st overall for offense. Obviously, Tennessee tried to buy their quarterback. I think that was speculated. Josh Hoover, after Nico left Tennessee, and TCU was able to retain Josh Hoover. I think it was a big win for them. I mean, the guy had some monster games. I heard Sonny Dykes talk about this at media days. 42 touchdowns, 20 interceptions in his career there at Fort Worth. One of the better quarterbacks, I think, in the nation coming into the season. He is back, and 3 of 5 are back on the O-line, which is what you want the O-line and the quarterback, I think, back. Skill position players obviously play a role, but I think if you had a preference, that's probably what you would do. And you also have your kicker and punter back, and Kyle Lemmerman and Ethan Craw. Mac, they did go to the portal. And interesting, they brought in Dr. Kevorian Barnes here from UTSA, who I believe will be their starting running back. And I like that get. They also brought in Jordan Dwyer from Idaho in the FCS. He was good. And Joseph Manjack was a DFS darling of mine at Houston, and he was at USC before that. I like the Manjack get there. The Dwyer get, we'll see. They also brought in Pimpleton, the tight end from LSU, a couple offensive linemen from the FCS ranks in IDub and Abilene Christian, and a long snapper from Northwestern. But do you think the offense? I know they're replacing all their wideouts from a year ago, but I kind of think the offense could be improved from 31st. Although I do think this year's schedule is harder. How about you?
Yeah, we'll touch on the schedule, but I mean, Manjack's been a productive college football player, and Dwyer had almost 1,200 yards at Idaho last year. Barnes, 4-year or 3-year starter at UTSA. I think I think this offense will be similar. We know under Sonny Dykes and Kendal Briles, they're going to throw the ball all over the yard. And they have continuity back on the offensive line. And I would also pose this question to you. Is Josh Hoover the best quarterback in the Big 12? I mean, he's where would you put him? Top 3?
That's a really hard question because
he's good. I'm a big
He's very good. He's very good, but so if Avery Johnson takes us, I have Hoover better than Avery Johnson as of last year. But if Johnson takes a step forward, Levitt, I think kind of took that step forward last year. So I think you could argue Levitt better than Hoover. But how about like when Jalen Daniels is healthy and actually healthy, you could make a case that he's the most dangerous player. Like I know he probably doesn't have the NFL upside that Hoover does, but that's a great question. Honestly, a great question. Obviously, Dampier going to Utah. Retzlaff decided to have sex, so I don't know if he's going to be in the Big 12.
Well, they're rival too. Sawyer Robertson at Baylor.
That's what I'm saying. There's Rocco Becht. How about Rocco Becht? I mean, Big 12 was the best quarterback or the best quarterback conference, I would say, by far this season coming into the season. But, I would certainly put him in the top 3. But based on last season, it's a tricky question though because I do believe like when Jalen Daniels is healthy. He's a guy that I think is the hardest to prep for. When he's 100% healthy, and he's better at passing than he was like first 5-6 games of the season last year. He was really, you could tell that back injury was still playing a role. But Hoover, man, I would definitely put him in the top 3. I'll put it like that. Top 3, I would say. You put him at 1?
No, I don't. I was curious. I put him in the top 3. I think Levitt has. I think he kind of cemented himself as the top dog going into this year when he took Arizona State to the college football playoff. But I mean, him and Robertson are really good. Jalen Daniels and Avery Johnson, super talented. And then Rocco Bex is one of the most underappreciated guys in college football. So yeah, I would say Hoover's top 3. He was the reason why they won 9 games. I mean, he took a huge jump last year.
Yeah. And Matt is right. Eric McAlister, the former Boise receiver, is back as well. He didn't start the whole season. I think he started like 7 games or something. I probably should have put him on that list though. Yeah, I think the offense will put up better numbers, but I do think the schedule is harder this year than last year's. It's just FYI. Let's talk about the defense, but before we do that, I want to let the good folks know that the TCU Horned Frogs 2025 season preview episode is brought to you by, well, us. Yeah, we are the College Football Experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. You can listen to every podcast episode on this network for free by subscribing to the SGPN feed. I mean, everything. College Baseball Experience. TCU had a great run a couple years ago in Omaha. College Basketball Experience. Jamie Dixon's going to get them back to the tournament this year. Let's go. And obviously the College Football Experience and the FCS College Football Experience. All those come together as one, but also all of our other stuff. The Bottom Line Bombs, the Sports Gambling Podcast, the NBA Gambling Podcast, the MLB Gambling Podcast, NASCAR, Formula One Gambling Podcast, all these ones, and I'm forgetting some, all coming out on the SGPN feed. So just type in SGPN in your podcast feed, click that subscribe button. You get access to everything for free. And remember, as always, to let it ride. We're also brought to you by Circa Millions and Circa Survivor. Think you know ball? Then you have to enter Circa's football contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes. There is no rake, so if the entries go above the guarantee, all the extra money goes right to that prize pool. Circa Millions, you pick 5 NFL teams to get the spread each week, or go for the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor for $1 million there. And look, there's even the Circa Grandissimo for $100,000 Survivor contest. You must register in person at Circa Sportsbook in Nevada, Las Vegas. I'll be there in a few days, Mac. Can't wait. Great excuse to book a trip to Vegas. I know you'll be there in about a month, right? Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com. Use that promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including, all the summer sports. I had way too much money on a couple CFL games going on today, but good night. MLB, WNBA, golf, tennis, all rolling along. And don't forget the college football future market. That is phenomenal. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations as well, even outside of the States. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So head on over to mybookie.ag. And when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply, of course. That's mybookie.ag. Promo code TCESGPN. All right, the chat. Shout out to J Mark in the chat. Check out the Old Fashioned Football podcast. Check out the CFL Gambling podcast because we were all over some action there. So let's talk though about this Horned Frog defense because Andy Avalos, who I do like, by the way, I got a chance to. He was on the show a couple years ago. Came over. Things didn't work out as the head coach of Boise State, but the guy had been a very good DC previously at Oregon and some other spots. They were 63rd in scoring defenses. It was year 1, I believe, for him last season.
Yeah.
23rd in pass defense, 83rd in rush defense. Charting at the number, a top 50 defense. I mean, that's better than what we just did with the LSU preview. Go listen to that. And big strides from the year prior under Joe Gillespie. What do you make of the defense? I mean, you think in year 2 with returning 2 safeties, 2 linebackers, and a defensive tackle, that's 5 starters back. I feel like we've been doing the show 7 years ago or so. Like 5 starters back was average, but now 5 starters back is like, oh, holy shit, watch out for these guys with the way the portal is and everything these days. And if you're wondering, by the way, it's the defensive tackle Marcus Neal. Linebacker Marcus Deal, not Neal. Devian Deal.
The Deal Brothers.
Yeah, Deal Brothers. Let's go. Let's make a deal. Right? Remember that show? Nnamdi Obazor, linebacker, and then Bud Clark, who was a beast, and Jamel Johnson back at the safety spots. They went out to the portal, and I know they're excited about this kid. I heard Sonny Dykes talk about him on media days. Ansel Dimba from Washington State. Linebacker Michael Teason comes in from Missouri State, who was jumping to the FBS. Elijah Jackson, cornerback from Washington, he played on the national championship team that lost to Michigan a few years ago. Safety Ryan Yates from Cal, Kylan Jackson, a safety from LSU, all coming in. Mac, will the defense be better? Because I had a hard time. You know, I go through all these teams, and I'm like, I feel like this year's schedule's harder, but the roster, like, I think the defense from this year is probably better than the defense from last year, but I don't know that the numbers will reflect that.
I agree. I was gonna say this whole team is better in our opinion, but the schedule, they draw some good quarterbacks. They did not get a favorable road schedule that we'll get to, but Avalos did a great job last year. They were horrible defensively 2 years ago, and that's why they went 5-7. He came in, brought some stability here, and we know TCU is going to be good offensively. They're good offensively every year, especially under Sonny Dykes. They just need their defense. If they're in the top 50 again, they're going to have a solid year once again.
Yeah, that's a good point. But man, you're right. Back to the court. The chat's reminding me. You got Sorsby at Cincinnati. How about Noah Fafita?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Caden Salter at Colorado. I mean, it's a really good conference for quarterbacks. But I do agree with your defensive approach there. Like, I think it's probably better than last year, but the numbers are not going to reflect it. So part of the state of the program that we're going to get to in a second about how is TCU looking moving forward is, yes, it's hires like Andy Avalos and transfer portal gets and Sonny Dykes and all that stuff, but it's also the stadium. And Mac, once again, Texas, here's one thing about Texas. They don't know what they're doing with their NFL stadiums. They all suck, in my opinion, but their college football stadiums,
yes.
Their high school football stadiums, I love the great state of Texas. They know football, and they're so, honestly, you know, I think the Sun Bowl is incredible. I think the Cotton Bowl is incredible. I'm glad they're going to throw some money into restoring that, but all the Baylor, Texas Tech, TCU, Texas A&M, Rice, all these stadiums I love. Even like D2 has some gems. Amon G. Carter Stadium's 95 years young. I give this a 9 out of 10, Mac, but I love that they were able. Look at this thing, man. Once again, the castle theme. I don't want to say it on every fucking episode, but it's hard to not. This is the way a football stadium should look. They get it in Fort Worth. They get it. Look at the fucking Horned Frog statue there. And I love that just what's that area way down on the other side of the field? It's like at a brick. Looks like an old baseball stadium. And
yeah,
it's just fantastic. Look at that. Amon G. Carter. You got the TCU little thing on the side there. And yeah, that, you know what I'm talking about, on the other side there. That looks fucking fire, dude. I love this stadium. I think it's a really good stadium. They have great fans, and it's just a good football stadium, dude. They play a bowl game there every year. Look at that right there. That is fire. That's what I'm talking about. It looks like a castle on the outside, and then inside you got that shit going on. It's beautiful. What do you give this thing 1 to 10, man? Because this is a fire stadium, in my opinion.
If you go with, I'm going to look for a better picture. Like, you could see the basketball arena in the background. So when right there.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. So where the bus would, when we played at TCU in Big 12 play, when I was working for West Virginia, they would drop us off there. So we would walk through the football stadium. And so I've gotten to look at this stadium quite often. It's beautiful. Yeah. I'm giving it a 9. It's not like some of the older classics, but it seats about, I think, 47,000, but it's clean, man. It's clean. And it looks like a hell of a place to watch a football game.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it might not. You know, I get you. Like when we talked about Duke. Duke Stadium's great, but it looks like it hasn't been touched since like 1930. This one still has an element to that because it is 95 years old. I mean, you're playing. That's what I love too. Is you're playing on the same field as fucking Sammy Ball and shit. Sammy Ball played on this field. I love the fact they've preserved it. They've thrown money into it. They got little nuggets around the stadium about this, like Jalen Reagor right here having an unbelievable game. YouTube.com/the college experience. Jump on over there. It is just a fantastic stadium though, man. When you really look at it, they know what they're doing. Like the state, so look, Baylor's got a recent stadium that's brand new. It's really nice. So it's not all about the old stadiums. But they get it. They made it look like a throwback. Texas Tech did, upgrades to make it look like it should, like a classic regal royal castle. And that's what I would describe all these as, is like they do a great job. Amon G. Carter Stadium, I think, is a phenomenal college football stadium. I think it's, to me, you can have your Jerry's World. This is where you should be playing. The Cotton Bowl. Don't get me wrong. I love the Cotton Bowl. That's my preference in that area. But this is a phenomenal stadium, man. Look what they've done, by the way. That's what it used to be. You see the basketball stadium was still there then.
It's hilarious. Those two haven't moved.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, man. I mean, look, they've done just such a good job with the stadium. I give it a 9 of 10 as well. I think it's a really good looking football stadium, man. And it's just the way look at all that shit, man. Leading up to it, it's just a good look at that night where they got the lights going.
Dude, the state of Texas does football right. They got so many damn good programs in that state, and then so many awesome stadiums in history.
Amen. And look, you got statues of Davey O'Brien and fucking Sammy Baugh. They got Gary Patterson. I wonder when they're going to get a LaDainian Tomlinson statue. He was a baller for them, but man, they got just history everywhere there. So that leads us to state of the program. And I had a tough time with this because you're like, wait a second. They've been so good for like 25, 30 years. But then you're also like, wait a second. Well, Gary Patterson's gone. But I'm like, well, Sonny Dykes took him to a natty. He just won 9 games. I gave it an 8 of 10 because I do think they could be one of the programs at the forefront of the new Big 12. What do you give it?
I think 8's fair. If they throw out another 9-10 win season, then they're going to be a 9 or 10. If they get back to their second playoff in 4 years, but 8 I think it reflects really stable program, a contender in the Big 12 once again.
Yeah. Shout out to the chat. Matt dropping some stats with Sammy Baugh. Sammy Baugh, that's a real fucking quarterback. A lot of times people hear me talk about led the league in interceptions as a safety and passing touchdowns as a quarterback. That's a football player. That's a fucking football player, right?
Travis Hunter's got nothing on him.
Amen, brother. Right. Although Travis Hunter had a great game at Amon G. Carter Stadium as 21-point dogs when I cashed on Colorado money line.
Hey, this is a TCU preview.
That's true. Sorry, don't give me a 1-star. Folks, look, we're going to talk about the schedule. Go through every game on the schedule. But before we do that, I want to let you know we are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long. Give away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. There's no waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football, folks. So jump on over to Underdog Fantasy. But when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer. Up to $1,000 in bonus credits there. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. You probably heard me talk about Rhythm before, but get this. They just dropped a new game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a very high ROI. Think like a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. And Power Trends are updated daily, exclusive to Rhythm and Rhythm only. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets, baby. And look, MLB Power Trends are 254 and 147, folks. That's a win rate of 63% this season and an ROI of 4.5% in the past 400 bets. WNBA Power Trends killing it too, 35 and 20 since they launched, 64% just about, 20.7% ROI. So download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. Get your free 7-day trial period today as well. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back Orange Chicken asking if TCU has the same money as Texas Tech. I would say no.
No,
I don't think anybody does.
Nobody in the Big 12 does.
I actually think no one maybe in the country does because we were doing our Texas Tech preview the other night. Go listen to that. We pulled up a sale of he made like 4.5 billion on a sale, but that was just, we didn't realize at the time that was his $3 billion sale in the past like decade. So you're talking like, I mean, I don't know that anybody is on that level. So watch out for those Red Raiders, even though we took the under. So go listen to that episode.
And I was going to say that's been one of the cool things with this show is as it continues to grow is the fan interaction, like learning nuggets like that. I had no idea it was his third sell, but yeah, when I saw that comment come through, I go, damn, he's loaded.
Former Texas Tech football player too, man. Football saving planet Earth day by day, you know? Yeah. Let's talk about this TCU schedule, man, because I will be at this game week 1.
Ooh, buddy.
When they head to legendary Keenan Memorial Stadium to take on Chapel Bill Belichick and North Carolina. Why is it that TCU has to play all these like Deion starts his coaching career at the FBS, TCU's playing him. Now Belichick, who's never been a part of college football, his dad obviously, coached at North Carolina. So I do think that's so cool that, Belichick hired both of his sons. You're going to have basically 3 generations there of Belichicks that have been coaching at North Carolina. That's the shit I love. But I mean, I find this game incredibly hard to handicap, but I did already bet TCU. Fascinated is an understatement to me. I think this game it has potential for me to eat shit just because if Belichick is the defensive mastermind that I know him to be in the NFL, I am fascinated because the NFL, I mean, I will use Mike Leach's comments. Now, Belichick's been in the NFL so long, though, I believe, because I know when we had Jerry Glanville on the show, and Jerry Glanville was talking about how he was on the same staff with Belichick on the Detroit Lions when they played fucking outdoors. So I was like, oh my God, that's a long time ago. Right. But Mike Leach's thing was like, well, I asked him once why you didn't go to the NFL. Because everyone in his, he said Andy Reid was studying him. When Andy Reid left the Eagles before the Chiefs, he was studying Mike Leach. He went to hang out with Mike Leach. They had known each other since their BYU days and stuff. And all these NFL offenses were running wrinkles of Leach's offense. And I go, why? Kingsbury had already been the head coach of the Cardinals. And he was like, well, there's no innovation going on in the NFL. He's like, Kingsbury is my boy, but like, he doesn't get to hire his DC, his special teams. He's like a glorified OC. And, and he goes, but everyone's running the same stuff. You don't get the difference. He goes, back in the 70s and 80s, the NFL was a lot more entertaining to him because you had variance in offense and defense and everything, a lot more variance. And I thought that was interesting that he said that, right? So I guess the question, Belichick's been in the NFL forever.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated to see what Belichick can do defensively. Kendal Briles' offense is the veer and shoot, the same shit Tennessee runs, right? And so what you're getting there, but it is vastly different than an NFL offense. So I'm fascinated to see what he will do, and especially with a month of prep. I think it's more dangerous for TCU to lose because you're getting a month of prep. I think you want to fade Carolina probably further into the season, even though I've already bet TCU. So I'm all over the fucking place here. TCU 1-0, but I do think this is a true mystery game to a certain extent.
It really is. TCU has the better roster, the better quarterback. It's just the Belichick X factor. But I will say Belichick's Patriots teams, they usually started slow. So I kind of like they were 2-2 a bunch of the times, and then he would figure out what he had, and then they would go on a run. I kind of think Carolina is going to start a little bit slow here this first month. And TCU, when they lost to Colorado, that they lost Max Duggan, they lost all those guys. They have a lot coming back off that team last year. So I think Hoover, a veteran, they get a win on the road, and they're 1-0.
Yeah. And by the way, Matt, you're saying TCU ups Carolina. I believe TCU is the favorite.
Yeah,
now.
flip.
Yeah.
TCU's almost laying 3 now.
So we both got TCU at 1-0.
Yeah. Fascinating game. Monday Night Football.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be there if all goes well. Then they get a bye week. I don't like the early bye week personally.
It's because of Monday Night Football.
I know, but still, put your FCS week 2. Okay, 4-day break. Okay, well, teams do that every year. Shout out to Davey O'Brien and Sammy Baugh there. Some of the greats that have gone through Fort Worth. Then they host Abilene Christian, who almost knocked off Texas Tech last year, by the way. They went for 2 in the win in overtime.
Yeah.
Tricky spot there, but Abilene lost Maverick McIntyre. He's now at Western Kentucky. So TCU rolls 2-0, even though that rivalry 100 years old there. What are you doing here?
Yeah, to your point, Abilene almost beat Tech, and Tech was an 8-win team last year. It wasn't a bad Texas Tech team. 2-0 for TCU, but don't sleepwalk through this game.
Yeah. Then this is the final iron skillet too. These bastards, they're killing me. They've been playing for 110 years. And this rivalry, I think this is the final game because obviously TCU had a lot to do, from what I understand, of keeping SMU out of the Big 12. So SMU ends up in the ACC. And for whatever reasons, I know Sonny Dykes was a sitting SMU coach that went to TCU. This is a rivalry game, hence the Battle of the Iron Skillet. I'm very disappointed that they can't make this work long-term for the future. And I am loading up a lot of money on TCU to win this game because Sonny Dykes got kicked out of the game in Gerald Ford Stadium there. That makes me a little more terrified of the Abilene game, to tell you the truth. But I think TCU is going to get them. I feel pretty good about this spot here. TCU get revenge at Amon G. Carter Stadium and the final matchup for the foreseeable future. So give me 3-0, Mac. What are you doing here?
Yeah, another ACC game for him too. I got TCU in the revenge. SMU ran it up on them last year too, and then talked a lot of shit and celebrated a lot after that game. This needs to be a primetime game. They haven't announced the time on this. This should be the 7:30 ABC game. This place is going to be rocking.
Oh yeah. I can't wait for this game. So 3-0, but I'll tell you this, buddy. I was looking at the schedule getting ready for this episode. They go to Sun Devil Stadium after this. Jeez. This is a guaranteed loss. I think if you go listen to our Arizona State preview that we dropped a couple weeks back, I thought TCU was live, but coming off of the Iron Skillet and the emotions of that game, and if they beat them like I think they're going to beat them, I find it hard to believe that they're going to be able to come into the desert and take down Arizona State then. Even though it's the Big 12 opener, this is my first loss here for TCU. So I got them 3-1. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm looking right now too. This is on a Friday night. So this is a short. Yeah. This is a short week.
Yeah.
It's heat. At Arizona State, that place is going to be jumping as well. Yeah, this is a loss.
Yeah, 3-1 there. Then Coach Prime in Colorado come into town. On the Colorado preview, I gave this to the Buffs. So I will stay true to that. I will say this. Obviously, TCU, I think, is you know what you're getting a lot more with TCU than you do with Colorado this year. However, I do think with Kendal Briles' offense, Colorado's talent in the secondary, which I know Travis Hunter's gone, but trust me, they got some guys. I'd say that's probably the skill position that they have best on their whole roster. I think that can present challenges for a team running the stuff that TCU runs. That's why Colorado did beat them as 21-point dogs. Obviously, I don't feel amazing about this game. I just kind of took this because I think Dion pays attention to the over, and I had to find a win. So it wouldn't shock me at all if this is the one I'm wrong about. But 3-2. What are you doing here? I think I know.
I'm going to stick with TCU. Revenge. They get the revenge on Colorado from that loss on opening day 2 years ago. I think, like I said, more experienced. They get it done off the loss.
Yeah. Then they come out of that game. And they head to Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Man, these road spots are fucking brutal.
Dude.
You got the unknown in Chapel Hill. You got Sun Devil Stadium, and now you got Bill Snyder Stadium there in Manhattan. Series is 103 years old. I have it as another loss. I have 3-3 right now.
I don't think they've ever won in Manhattan, or if they have it, it's once. They've struggled there. Last time they went there, they got absolutely housed. Like Hoover's, it was like Hoover's first start on the road. Yeah, K-State at home.
So you got them 4-2. I got them 3-3.
Yep.
Then, man,
the Blue Bonnet.
Yes.
Blue Bonnet
Baylor. We got Baylor fans in the chat talking shit. Baylor at TCU. I don't think TCU would lose 4 in a row. So I will give this to TCU. Do I feel good about this? Not at all. I think this is a 1-possession game, to tell you the truth. I'm very high on Baylor again this year too, so I think it's a very scary game. This schedule is very hard so far, man. To tell you the truth, like even Abilene Christian, I value as like a top 30 FCS team. So every opponent minus Abilene Christian, I think is kind of a losable game. What are you doing here?
TCU last year won 6 out of 7 coming down the stretch for that 9-win season. Their only loss was the walk-off field goal by Baylor in Waco. I think they get revenge from last year. I think it's going to be a hell of a game again, though. This will be a field goal game right down to the wire. Those two have played some classics over the years.
Oh, for sure. So what? So your record's then what? 5-3, is it?
5-2.
5-2. I'm 4-3. Then they hit the road to Morgantown, West Virginia. Gosh, man.
7 games in 7 weeks. This is the 7th game.
This is why the bye week being that early sucks. And I do think Rich Rod's offense is going to start to catch here. This is right around Halloween. Loss. I'm going 4-4 right here.
Yeah, I'm taking my Mountaineers. I took them in that preview. If you remember, the year TCU went to the Natty, they struggled big time in Morgantown. Similar weekend. I think the Mountaineers get it done this time with Rich Rod. 5-3.
So 5-3. I'm at 4-4. Then they hit that second bye week there. Some of them, the other TCU greats, and LaDainian and Bob Lilly. They come out of that. Man.
This schedule's fucking brutal, man.
Matt Campbell at Iowa State coming to town. I'll give it to TCU. Do I feel great about it? Not at all. But give me a 5th win here for TCU. What are you doing here?
I'll take TCU in a tight one. What's Iowa State coming off of? They're coming off Arizona State at home, so that's a big game rematch. So yeah, good spot for TCU off the bye week.
So they get them, then they head to Provo. Obviously, this game got a little easier with the news of Retzlaff getting pussy before he got married.
Hilarious.
And getting kicked off the team essentially. Buddy, this is a hard game for me to just say TCU is going to win, but I will give it to TCU to give them that 6th win. But I don't feel amazing about this. This is Lavelle Edwards Stadium in mid-November. What is this? November 8th? Or no, November 15th.
Yeah, I'm taking BYU.
I mean, I get it. I think TCU's a talented team, so I think they're going to find a way to get bowling. So I'm giving them this. Maybe they win the Colorado game and lose this, and we're at the same level. But this is a hard game, man. So you got BYU getting it done. That puts you. We're at the same records now.
Yeah, and I disagree with Matt in the chat. I trust Sataki.
He's still got Jerry Bohannon. He started at Baylor. It's like they still have an experienced Big 12 quarterback.
Yeah, I trust Sataki, especially late in the year. So yeah, give me BYU.
So that puts us at both 6-4 then, right?
Yeah, it's a tough schedule, man. This next one's hard too.
Back-to-back away. They're heading to Houston. I have this as a loss, man.
Fritz off a bye week. Yeah, Houston has a bye week. Give me Houston.
Yeah. I was on Houston last year in this spot. So that puts me at 6-5. They end the season at home against Cincinnati. And look, I don't know that Scott Satterfield will even be coaching this game. They're kind of a wild card team. So I'll take TCU to go 7-5. What are you doing here?
I Kind of feels like Satterfield may not be there for this game. Give me TCU at home for a 7-5 year. Like you said, better roster, but they finished with the worst record because this schedule is fucking brutal.
Well, the win total is sitting at 6.5, so we're both on the over. But I would not lock this with a 10-foot pole. They're plus 850 to win the Big 12. They're plus 920 to make the college football playoff. They're plus 17,000 to win it all. The problem is this, man. I don't even know if they have for FBS teams. I don't know that they have a for sure win on here. I think the worst team that they play is North Carolina, and North Carolina gets a month to prep. And you have no idea what they're going to be running offensively and defensively. I mean, you study some NFL film, but it's a brutal schedule. I mean, I think I have almost every one of these teams as a bowl team.
Yeah.
Carolina be the one that I just don't think so, but I have no idea. They could make a bowl. You said Cincy? What?
Is Cincy the worst team, maybe?
I kind of think it depends because Cincy was actually like
talent.
That's what I'm saying. That they were a lot better than they were up so many games that they lost. So I don't value them as a shitty team. I just think they're average. But you can lose to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I think they're going to move the ball pretty well this year too. That's a hard schedule. I mean, West Virginia, I know everyone's got a projected dead last, but at Dub V, by that point, I think Rich Rod's going to have the offensive timing figured out. If you were playing West Virginia week 4 or 5, I'd be like, that's a win for TCU. I don't feel good about it by that point.
Yeah, and I know everybody thinks West Virginia is going to suck. Even if West Virginia is down, it's still hard to win in Morgantown. That's a tough-ass trip. Provo is a tough-ass trip. Those are two of just the more unique road trips. And then you have the two odds-on favorite road games, K-State and Arizona State. And you got to go to North Carolina. They have 6 Power 5 road games.
Yeah.
Who else has 6 Power 4 road games?
That's a good question. Off the top of my head, I'd have to think about that. But, I mean, I what's crazy, man, is like,
I like the team too, but this is brutal.
I do too, but I mean, look, there's potential. How many of these teams won 9 games or more last year? SMU, Arizona State, Colorado, Kansas State, BYU, Iowa State. What did Baylor win? I think Baylor might have, right?
Baylor won 8. They lost their bowl.
Okay. I mean, that's a lot of fucking teams that were decent. UNC was still a bowl team a year ago. Like Houston and Fritz a year too. I haven't projected as a bowl team. Cincinnati, who the hell knows? West Virginia, I feel like when you get them, they'll be playing at a bowl level, if not making a bowl. It's a tough schedule.
If you gave this schedule to Texas would not run through this schedule. They would get tripped up multiple times. And this is what I would push back on anybody that says the Big 12 sucks. Look at this schedule. This is a tough schedule, man. It's hard to win on the road to the Big 12. Good coaches, good quarterbacks. TCU, we both think is a good team, but 7-5 because they have to play 6 Power 4 road games because the Big 12 plays 9 league games.
I mean, they play 11 Power 5s, dude. 11 Power 5s, and then your FCS is Abilene Christian, who's a decent FCS. I repeat, they took Texas Tech to overtime and went for 2 in the win in overtime last year. So it's not like you're getting a shit FCS. It's a hard schedule, man.
They miss UCF, Arizona, and Oklahoma State.
Which is what you want.
Yeah, you want those on the schedule.
I'm still on the over because I think this team is talented, but I just can't. I can't lock it. I think your better play, actually, if you're looking to bet this thing, if you're a Horned Frog alum, I think your better play is just plus 850 to win the Big 12.
Yeah,
I think if you're gonna bet it, you just hope that because you could lose to Carolina or SMU. And those are non-con games; those are irrelevant. A 2 or 3 loss team can get to the Big 12 championship. So if you lose at Arizona State and maybe at Kansas State, you still might have that path to get to the Big 12 championship via tiebreaker. So, yeah, I'll take that if you're gonna play it. I'm not personally betting that, but I'm saying plus 850 to win the Big 12. I personally think is the best out of any of these bets. How about you, Beck?
Yeah, I would probably say the Big 12 just because it's every game's they're going to probably be in like 10 one-score games. So if they can get on the right side like they were in 22 with all those magical games, they could get to the Big 12. And they're good enough to win the Big 12. I mean, Hoover, we already said, is a top 3 quarterback in this league.
Yeah. All right. I mean, we're both on the over, but don't feel amazing about it, folks. That's our shows for tonight. We just wrapped LSU and this is TCU. So those two came out tonight. Remember, breaking down all 136. Tomorrow, we are doing Florida State, the Seminoles.
Cool.
We are also doing the Wyoming Cowboys. And we might try for 3 and do the Washington Huskies as well. So buckle up. At least 2 of those are coming tomorrow. Washington would be the one that's fringe. But yeah, can't wait. Can't wait to talk ball. Continue, like I said, we talk college football year round here. Subscribe to the College Football Experience. Also check out the college baseball and college basketball experience. Man, that's a tough schedule. Can't wait to watch these games, man. I'm getting super excited. This gets me jacked up, man. All right, folks. We will be back tomorrow. Give Moneyline Mac a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. And enjoy the TCU slideshow on the way out, honoring the history of TCU football, which we love so much. Till next time, this is the College Football Experience, Horned Frog style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Mailbox 1. You have 7. Let's get 1.
I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. We're the obsession to be a part of that, started that. Mind over matter don't matter in the market. I've seen much smarter cats have heart attacks. Logic is leaders need lambs to be lethargic. Match wits with the half-wit phantom. I don't need jumper cables or mic cords to analyze an analytical anthem. Between my 2 ears, an engine pumping the life force. Force field for your grip on the grievance. Still gonna feel unchallenged and bored stiff. So arrange the pieces to appear cohesive. All the hard work will go largely ignored if your hands are covered with post-its and paper cuts. You need to have your voice in the vice grip. The one who made it famous ain't the one who made it up. You don't get overtime just for working the night shift. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. Every time I close my eyes, I'm taken to the same place, a playing field, and every contestant's got the game face. Everybody's yelling, you ought to play it safe. Make sure them shoes are tied and ankles taped. Shake the cobweb, hit the ground running. This is how cunning I can get with the footwork. You're doing it right, well, it shouldn't hurt. Flirt with greatness, still I run the famous. Nice high heels, I got mics for spikes. Trampling the home team and their turf for life. For the few fleet of foot, too fast for me. I fear none, cause I run and ignore the pair of feet by the tree that are fast asleep. In love with the game, you adore the head. I believe in achievement. My soul isn't rewarded just cause it's easy goal and moves toward it. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. Conspiracy theories, gotta love them clearly. Nothing's more entertaining than entertaining a query. Just the words of the wise and the weary. Recognize the authors of reality and theory. Theoretically, I could have won Scribble Jam. In reality, I lost to a legend. Theoretically, I'm best friends with Uncle Sam. In reality, I've never even met him. Now, one day my potential may become reputation. Until then, I'm still a work in progress. I suggest you question what I'm saying. If anything, to become familiar with the process. My agenda may suit your needs. When I say your Bill of Rights has been ripped to shreds, but if it defends what you believe, hold dear to your truths and scream fuck seeds. You know what the battle